Shenanigans. Grab a coffee, relax, and let's have some fun. Real reefers just hanging out and talking shit. We all love the hobby more than we'd like to admit. Feel free to join in and hang with us. Let us know if there is anything you'd like to discuss. If you like what you see, join our Discord for more. Friendly, warm welcome awaits and lots of channels to explore.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Shenanigans. Thank you, Steve, Liam, and Dave for joining us this morning. I don't know if we've got a bit of an audio issue with Dave, but we'll soon
most likely.
It looks like we still have an issue. I don't know, Dave. I'm going to ask you a question, right? And then you answer me as soon as you've heard it. Do you have a chode?
Yes.
It's not as bad now. So it's only 2 or 3 seconds.
Better than it was, yeah.
Right.
StreamYard, mate.
The topic of this morning's conversation, we're going to have a wee chat amongst us, see what we've been up to this week, but it's just about keeping it simple in the hobby and lots of automation, and when is a certain amount of equipment and automation maybe too much as opposed to when it actually makes life easier. Steve, what's been going on with you? I mean, you have a gigantic fuck off aquarium behind you.
Yes, the glass work is pretty much finished. There's just a silicone bead around the top to do. The work is absolutely phenomenal. Very, very nice. I'm very impressed.
What's the black angle top left of you? What? There's a kind of black triangle. What's that?
That's the rest of the tank. It's cut corner tank. So it's mitered corners on a 45.
But up the very top.
The whole tank goes sideways, diagonally.
So instead of it being a standard rectangle, that corner.
Is it chamfered? Yeah.
Oh.
So that corner is literally completely cut off because I've got open plan, dining room, kitchen, living room. If it was a corner, it'd just be in the way. So that's how I will say I designed it, but Mick made it happen.
It's not true what people say about you, Steve. You're quite clever. I mean, seriously, the masses would suggest otherwise.
Don't tell anybody.
I completely and utterly forgot to say good morning, everybody. Morning, John. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Scott. Oh, John, I have my coffee in my mug that keeps it warm, but just to represent you, I put my juice in your mug this morning.
Your juice? Or...
Yep. Ron's juice.
Burning the insides.
Yes. Good morning, Matthew. Hope you and Roxy are well. Good morning, Rama. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, James. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Tom. Who have I not done? Oh, Dan. Good morning. Another Scott. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Gaz. Good evening, Melinda. I think. Oh, another James. Good morning, James. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Bernadette. Good morning, Ernet100. Does anyone know that person's real name?
No.
Oh,
No
I feel
idea.
like Steve told me.
Can we call him Steve as well? There seems to be a lot of Steves.
Let's go with Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Good morning, Jazz. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. I think that's us. Oh, good morning, Reese. There we go. Oh, aquarium composition. Good morning. Is that
Morning,
the guy, Joe? Joe. Right, we need to get Joe on this show at some point. Right, sorry. Back to where we were.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah.
Steve, your tank. Holy
Yes.
shit.
Believe it or not, it's actually smaller than my old one. So when he built it, I sort of looked at it and he went, "Are you happy? You don't look very happy." I said, "I am happy, but I wish it had gone a bit bigger."
Is it deeper than your old one though?
No, it's 28 inches tall. My old one was 32 inches, and my old one was 4 foot front to back. That's 3.5 foot front to back.
So what made you go smaller?
A few things. The majority of it was trying to get in and do anything in 4 foot front to back and 32 inches deep. I used to have a pair of goggles. So when I climbed up to the stand level, pretty much the only way I could reach anywhere, even with pick sticks, was with a pair of goggles on, put my head under the water to reach right down to the back.
What? You put your face in your tank?
Yeah.
It's a bit excessive, isn't it?
You wouldn't get a longer pole.
Pick stick was the longest thing available at that point. The extra long one was available.
I've never heard anything like this, by the way.
But if you think 32 inches deep and then 4 foot front to back, try and get anything from 4 foot away, and you stood 32 inches, the angle from here to here is going to be, what, 4.5 foot?
What you need is a midget that you can hold him by the ankles and push him to the back.
Do you mean a little person, Dave?
Yes, like me. Like me.
I had the same issue when I had mine not peninsula up against the wall, 3 foot back. You can't reach the back.
Yeah. So, and because it's closed in on two sides as well,
that makes it even more difficult. Yeah.
The only access point is from the front. So that's what made me go a bit smaller than last time. But yeah, I've just been sorting the dry side cabinet out, which you can't see. It's on that end. Thank you, Joe. It's the way that you escape them. So I was doing the dry side.
See this whole goggle thing, right? So now and again, I think that Bernadette will walk in, you know, I've got buckets everywhere and this shit line everyone hoses, and I'm all stressed out because I've knocked a coral over or something, and she just goes, if she walked in and I had fucking goggles on, I think she would die laughing.
It was just what had to be done at the time. So, you know.
Oh, that's wild. Swimming goggles.
Yeah.
Did you put swimming trunks on and pretend you were David Hasselhoff as well?
No, but I did have to get in a few times, which that was always interesting because it was a closed system. I'd have to turn the system off, drain a load of water out into a paddling pool in the dining room for displacement, then get in, do what needed to be done, then get back out and pump all the water back in.
I can see why you've gone for a smaller tank.
Yeah.
Linda's still with me, Steve. The triangle in the top corner, yeah. Do you guys on screen not see the black triangle?
Yeah, I can understand what it is. It's a chamfered corner. So it's,
that's the brace bar. So it's a double.
It's not a square.
Bar. Yeah, it's not.
No. I get that. No. If you
Euro bracing,
does that make?
That's the black bit you can see.
That's the top bit.
That's the brace bar. Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like a bit is coming down the front of the glass like that.
It's that funny angle.
Mick just left a square angle and siliconed it in the corner for him.
I just asked for that bit to be a bit lower so it's easier for me to get in and out with my goggles on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. We got there in the end. I don't know why Matt is just randomly saying the word muff.
Diving.
Diver.
I appreciate it. So yeah, I can see why you've gone for a smaller tank. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So yesterday was probably my first ever full day on the tank. It doesn't really look like I've done a great deal, but I know that I've knocked off a few jobs on the list. So the dry side cabinet, I made some aluminium frames for shelving and put the bottom frame in and clad all that. And I finished the pipe work, or dry fitting all of the pipe work for the sump. So inside is now nearly there, and then I can move to outside. as I was saying to Ron earlier, I made a slight mistake. Against the better judgment of the tank builder that I will probably listen to a little bit more in the future, because I said, here you go, here's my sump design. And he went, that's not how I build my sumps. It's that, how are you building this one? Because that's exactly what I want. So if you can build that for me, that'd be great. Thank you. And he went, yep, not a problem. I will build it. Gave him every single measurement, exactly where I wanted every single baffle, the heights. And it came, and I thought, wow, that is absolutely fantastic. So I started dry fitting all the equipment. So filter rollers, return pumps, reactors, came to fit my skimmer. My skimmer is 20 mil too big to fit into the sump in between the top of the frame and the bottom and the top of the sump. So the sump's coming out on Monday, and a new front panel getting fitted on it, 30 mil lower, so that I can fit my skimmer in.
Would it not have been easier to just get a different skimmer?
Yes, I was going to go for two 220s, but I weren't 100% happy with two 220s instead of the 300. So while I'm at this stage, I'll just do it. Say again?
What's planned for that was flow? Are you something that big, looking at closed loop or wave makers?
No, I've not gone closed loop. I've got 4 MP60s and 8 MP40s to go on there.
Fucking hell, that is some flow.
But they're all on the back panel though.
So all pushing forwards.
Yeah. So
how are you going to reach them to maintenance?
I have got a design that will clamp on the back brace bar and hold the dry sides in place. But if I ever need to get them, I can just lift it up and bring it over.
You're putting your goggles on. Yeah.
Getting.
Did you say 4 MP60s and 8 MP40s? Yeah. So why the combination of, why the numbers of that size of pump?
Simple reason, 8 MP40s, I've already got them.
Okay.
So I'm going to put them on, but I wanted something with a bit more oomph to come towards the top as well. So where my SPS are going to be, to give it a bit more flow. So the MP60s will probably sit more towards the top.
Okay.
And then the MP40 is lower down.
Kind of like sweeping the bottom of the tank up. Are you going sand or bare bottom?
Sand. I love bare bottom, or I love the idea of bare bottom. However, when it comes to actually doing it, and it being in my dining room of my house and seeing it every single day, drives me insane. I've got bare bottom at the office. That's fine.
Still talking about tanks?
Yes, Rob.
Yeah. Okay.
Just only on Fridays, 4 o'clock finishing time.
So James is asking, what lights are you going for? Because I think the last time I spoke to you, you actually said you didn't know.
I still don't know. I still haven't made a decision yet.
Really?
In all honesty, as I discussed with you, Ron, I sort of lost a little bit of motivation with work, with doing work around the house, lots of things going off. I've been away for a week as well. Just sort of lost a little bit of motivation on the tank, really. Getting it back.
You've been non-stop though. I mean, trying to tie you down even for this, you've been like, look, I can give you this one Sunday, and that's it until fucking August or something, you said to me.
Yeah, and that's literally where I am now. Is pretty much every single weekend there is some description of a plan until
John would like you to use a broken flex.
What John means is the flex that he dropped in his tank that I'm trying to repair for him. But yeah, it's been pretty manic, and is now going to be manic. So August is sort of in my head the timeline for getting some water in there. So is it Mansfield next weekend? No, next weekend. So next weekend, the pipe work that's sat under the living room floor will get cut through the wall. That's going out through the wall. Then I've got self-leveling to do in the living room, new floor down in the living room. And then I'm outside then.
Oh, you've still got quite a bit of work to do. Wow.
Yeah, I've
So
got
is the tank sitting on the subfloor then, and you're not putting your new floor underneath it, obviously?
No. So the kitchen and the dining room is done, the floor.
Oh, okay.
I just stopped at the dining room because I knew that I'd still got to lift the floor up in there to finish the pipe work to push it to outside. But I've got to cut through the wall to get.
Okay, so the room you're in right now, that's all complete.
This is, well, as complete as we are for the minute.
Yeah.
So still a bit left to do, but nothing major.
So Alan is suggesting that there's new lights coming and you're just not allowed to say.
I actually asked the question, Alan. I said, I'm starting to think about my lights. Any news on Gen 7? And I was told no new news.
That's interesting because there's definitely going to be, I believe there should be a shift with how popular these have been. I mean, the market's not wrong, is it? The amount of people that have jumped ship to these style of lights has been unreal. People that can afford it because they're obviously silly money. But I'd be surprised if Ecotech didn't do something different with the next gen. But what it will be, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because the Neptune skies are gone, aren't they? What are you saying, Dave?
I said anti-jumbo jet.
The jet
the
fans. Yeah.
Oh, yes, fanless.
Jesus.
Aye, all right, Dave.
Yes, yeah. I just thought I was delayed again.
Melinda says, maybe a glass chandelier sculpted to look like an octopus. I would buy one.
I have one.
You do?
You do.
It looks like it's in your tank. I think we could talk about Steve's new tank all morning, but that's not what this show is about. But we will need to get a tank tour booked in, just saying. Liam, what have you been up to? And I know you're going to say absolutely nothing, but you've done some stuff.
I've done loads.
Oh.
There's just so much.
You're so full of shit.
I cleaned my wave maker. I've added a copper band.
Is it still alive?
Still alive, but he won't eat. We're on week 4. I think it's nearly a month now I've had him.
So it's eating something.
It's eating something, not Aptasia. I know that. It's no, he's not losing weight. He's stayed perfectly fine. All the tangs are leaving him alone. I bought a blue spot unicorn tang to sort of chuck in and distract the coal tang when I added the copper band. The coal tang couldn't give a fuck about either of them, so I've got an extra tang. Yeah, everything's doing fine. Chromisol's still alive. Ras. I lost my banana fish. That was yeah, I think it's jumped and the cat's had a snack. I can't find a body and I can't find a fish. It's, yeah.
Could have been a parrot.
No, he stays in his cage, won't go in the tank. He's happy. Fucking thing.
Well, that you know of, I reckon every morning you go to work and Jazz just lets the house go absolutely bonkers.
It'd be great, but she comes to work with me now.
What?
Yeah. It's been busy.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Is she on wheel duty?
She is on wheel duty, yeah.
Ah.
She does all the little wheels and the toothbrushing and, yeah, keeps her busy. So, yeah, so work's gone absolutely mental. So I've not done a huge amount with the tank. Cleaned wave makers, general maintenance. I did have a bit of an SPS stripping issue. Stripping from the tip, which we blamed on pollen. I sent off one of the ATI test kits. That came back. I had basically 0 iodine.
Oh.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Turns out iodine works like sun cream for them.
Yes.
So yeah, so I've added some iodine and it stopped. We're all good.
Well done finding something that's actually wrong with the tank and being able to deal with it. Because normally in reefing, it's like, what's happened?
Yeah, what's gone wrong? Yeah, but no, everything's going sweet. That's about it. I cleaned my skimmer.
All your 300 chromas still alive?
Yeah, all happy.
They do look fantastic behind you, by the way. I mean, it's rare to see that in a tank.
Yeah.
I feed them often and little. Mixture of foods. I think because there's so many of them, the bullying just gets spread out between them.
Yep.
I'll watch one and one of the little ones will get pushed to the side in a corner, and then the shoal or whatever will move around the tank and he just comes back in and he's forgotten about it. It works. So if you want the shoulder chromis, you need about 50.
Is that how many you reckon you've got?
Last time I counted was 62.
Oh, wow. I don't know how you can count that type of fish that moves.
I didn't. ChatGPT did. I took a picture of it.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Some of them still sort of stay around the rock and things. I've got a couple that are spawning in places. But again, they're not spawning and doing... I remember Tom saying about in his tank when they spawned, no fish was allowed anywhere near that area.
Yeah.
But don't get that in this. I think it's because of the dimensions of the tank. It's a lot wider. I think. I don't know.
I know Jim had, when his chromis go for sexy time, it's like you're not coming near this rock.
Yeah. They don't seem to.
But he's getting
They've got their rock that they stay in. Yeah. What can I say? Black belt chromis keeper. That'll do.
Dave, what have you been up to?
Nothing. Usual.
Excellent.
Just fighting TMC dosing containers which self-weld together because of the heat. Unbelievable.
What happened
Fuck
there?
knows. No idea. Do you see the video?
Yes, you actually
literally
I was praying,
shaking it.
I was praying for it to fall on the floor, crack, and
it was that hard. I literally had to get a Stanley blade and cut the inside of a rim to release the seal off it. It was mental. Don't know what happened.
But
big TMC.
What's inside it?
Nios, one of the parts, can't remember. Maybe the ALK part.
Okay.
Honestly, they were loose to begin with. One of them's still loose. The other one was welded solid shut, and now it physically won't fit in the hole. So God knows what's happened.
So has it expanded, contracted?
Well, it's like the dosing container's contracted or the lid is expanded. One of the two.
Vacuum sealed, sort of.
No, it's not vacuum sealed. Where it'd go straight back in now, wouldn't it? But it's literally, I can't physically fit it in there. So it's what it is. Just another great.
Acrylic does get affected by things, though, doesn't it? Because the sump I get made is acrylic, and I got these completely and utterly perfectly cut covers to go around my skimmer cup to cover the central part of my sump, and they've bent and warped some days, and then other days they're flat, and then other days they're like convexed. And acrylic definitely is. It's not.
It's
great.
Sensitive.
There's different types of acrylic, though.
Well, this is definitely not what should have been used for this purpose. No. They're all over the place.
I think they're self-combusting acrylic dosing containers. So yeah, it's what it is. And a question to Harry: Larmages, my friend, best thing in the world. Apart from that, I've done generally nothing. Obviously, we've got the tank tour next weekend, lastminute.com, and I'm doing nothing for it because this time nothing is going to die.
Did you buy anything yesterday?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did buy something, but that's for next weekend. Otherwise, we'll have nothing to talk about in the tank tour, would we?
That's true. It'll be like 12 minutes long.
12 seconds. 12 second tour.
12
yeah.
Seconds.
No mucking about. No orange filter. Job done. Yeah.
Okay, on to today's subject then. We might as well just move straight on to it. It's just about keeping things simple as opposed to automation and things like that. So the first thing I've got written down here is automation that genuinely simplifies or gadgets that create more work. So I'll go first, and I'll say that I don't actually believe I would A, have as many tanks as I do, or B, maybe even still be in the hobby if it hadn't been for the birth of the automatic water change system. And I know some people are, no, I like to do my own water changes. That's when I start to focus on my tank and I'm looking at things and I'm keeping an eye on equipment and things like that. I do that all day, every day, because I'm around my tanks all day, every day. I don't have an aquarium at home. I work 7 days a week. Therefore, I'm around my tanks 7 days a week. I do only run the automatic water change in operating garden centre hours, so 9 until 5:30. I don't want things leaking and bursting overnight. I don't want, so only when I'm here. And I do actually find the sound of them going, not therapeutic, but I know it's happening. I know it's working. I know if I hear something starting to click, there's maybe a blockage in a line, things like that. So I'm all for it. Do you have to buy an Apex and a doser, which is quite an expensive doser to do it? Yes, you do. But I probably wouldn't have, like I said earlier, the amount of tanks or even be in the hobby if it wasn't for the automatic water change now, because I can't carry water like that anymore. It's too heavy. And Bernadette would absolutely 100% do it for me, but she doesn't deserve that. She's not into reefing, you know? So, yeah, I just wondered what your guys' opinion is on automation when it gets maybe a wee bit too far. I mean, Steve, I actually genuinely asked you on this particular stream because this system behind you is going to be one of the most highly automated and technical systems I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, plans have changed since then. I'm just going to use a jug.
Twice a week?
No, 4 times a week.
4 times.
Okay.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I've had this discussion before. I could not have a tank without running automation, whichever system you choose. But for me, obviously, it's going to be Neptune for the simple reasons that it tells me when something's wrong. If it's wrong, I can fix it from anywhere in the world. It just makes my life simple. Even to the point of the aim for the new auto water changer, which again, I absolutely agree with you. I couldn't have a system without auto water change now. So the new system that I'm aiming to build, and I've already got all the stuff for it now, it's 1,000 litre IBC that's going to hold the salt water for the auto water changers. Obviously DOS, but on top of that, what I'm doing is I'm designing a bracket that holds a salinity probe that comes up and down with the water. So as the water runs out, it will then turn the auto water change off, turn the RO unit on, so it starts filling it up. Apex will then say from the salinity to stop doing auto water changes until the salinity is at 35 ppt. So it will carry on filling till it reaches the top level. The RO unit will turn itself off. Then all I've got to do is throw a bag of salt in. As soon as it reaches level, it'll automatically turn itself back on.
Putting quite a lot of trust in the salinity probe for the Apex there then, Steve.
Yes, but I also run 2 in my display tank, and you can do a little bit of programming, which I know that Joe's done on his new system, that if your salinity in your aquarium drops, you can then, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe, there is. But if the salinity drops in your aquarium or goes too high, you can tell the Neptune with a little few lines of program to either take water out or put new water in. And it can automatically correct your system by doing that. But yes, you need multiple salinity probes. I always run 2 in my tank just in case one gets an air block underneath it or anything like that. And then I've got one that's going to go in the salt water, auto water change that as well.
I'm the same. I've got multiple temperature probes as well. So one in the sump, one in the tank, and they both kind of like fight against each other to keep things as stable as possible. But obviously, I'm now employing a 2-degree temperature swing, which is slightly different. But if one stops working, you don't want to be boiling the tank. Also, when you do, if your return pump fails and everything drains to the sump and you're only controlling the temperature in your sump, and the temperature in your tank, okay, there's a heater in your sump and there's a heater in your tank, both connected and controlled by the same situation, but one is going to get much warmer and one is going to get much cooler. So yeah, there's ways of putting fail safes in place with.
And this is it. And I think the simple fact of it is, with Neptune, the more you put into it, the more you get from it. And as Joe says, there's going to be many, many hours of sitting there and just going through it. But once it's got it. That's it. You're not having to redo that work every week, every month, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So going on that, Steve, what's your ideal way of calibrating the salinity probe? Because I wouldn't trust mine as far as I could sling it. I've always had issues with them.
The 53, was it 53,000?
Yeah, 53,000.
MS 53,000 calibration solution.
I have so many issues trying to calibrate mine. It now says 0 and it stays at 0 and I don't look at it.
Whereabouts have you got it in the sun?
In the water.
It's not your man.
Okay. So
it's before everything else.
Okay, so they are prone for a air buildup in the bottom of the probe.
Okay.
I got a VCA fitting, I think it was, and attached a PEEM up to it to pass water across it. And that just kills it. That sorts it, no problem.
Okay.
So just make sure you can even, I know I spoke to Sean a while ago. I think he just literally puts a little power head underneath, just blowing water past so it can't get a air build up in the probe.
I've got quite a high turnover in my sump. It's near the return section as such.
It's not the turnover, it's where the probe is domed inside on the bottom. It gets small amounts of air in there, and obviously that grows until it can't read. So if you have a little pump blowing past it, it just gets rid of all of those air bubbles underneath.
I not UV pump directly through all my probes.
Yep.
So if I was to put mine in my frag section in my sump,
has that got a flow? Yeah, just literally have the pump blowing past and taking any of those air bubbles away.
Sorry, you say frag section or fish section?
It's the same thing.
Oh, same thing. Fair enough.
Do you guys remember the name of the company that designed? So it's a pipe that you pipe flow through, and it actually has little rubber grommets.
Yeah. They've stopped making it.
Oh, because I always fancied one of them. I might make my own.
That's exactly where I am.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got little Toonsy power heads in every section of my main tank sump, not in the shop. It's just softies and stuff like that. But in every section of my frag tank, for example, I've got a little Toonsy, what's it called? Turbell power head. And the one in the central section where my probes are, salinity probe and things like that it is directed at it. And it did fix it for a while, but I get so much sponge growth in there. It's just...
That's the other problem,
Joe's made a couple of good comments there, actually. When you are calibrating, make sure you throw the calibration solution into your tank to get temperature, and also your offset of 2.2.
Yes, so the temperature.
Ooh, okay. Rama's got a good comment here. Bum probe. Just that's all he's got to say.
That's how you calibrate it, Rama.
Is that for Neptune or?
It's a Birmingham thing, I reckon. Yeah.
I'm such a child. LT Reefer says, I verify my system salinity with Tropic Marine hydrometer, then calibrate probe to the system. That's exactly what I do. That is my sort of...
The glass one. The old glass.
Again, very, very temperature sensitive. So I bought a glass cylinder. I put the glass cylinder in my sump or my weir on my frag system, for example. I then fill it with water from the tank so it sits perfectly at the tank temperature. I'll leave it there for 5-10 minutes and then I just bob the hydrometer in and there you go.
Yeah.
The amount of those that I used to break, just drop them in and they go, bosh, straight on the bottom of the tank, pieces everywhere.
Well, I remember Rob saying to me he bought one and he broke it, and I was absolutely pissing myself laughing because he described all the little beads falling and all the rest of it from it.
Yep.
About 25 minutes later, I thought I better check my salinity, and I'm so careful with all of my stuff. And I went and I rinsed it down with fresh water in the sink and all the rest of it, and I was drying it off. What did I do? I stuck it under my armpit and held it, and then just went to go through the door, and the tip just went. And I just messaged Rob and said, "Never guess what I've just done."
Yeah.
Snap the tip.
Snap the tip. Never a good thing.
Anyway, I've forgotten where we were. Automation and things that I write. So, Steve, you're obviously a fan. Liam, the reason why I wanted you on this chat is because you're kind of on the opposite end of the scale. You do manual water changes and...
Yeah, I've got an Apex, but I don't use the Apex, if that makes sense. It's there for fail-safes and to save my ass from her inside when she's moaning that the skimmer's overflowing and I'm 100 miles away. I can go, stop moaning.
Do you have a tablet at home that Jazz could just go?
I used to, and then they did the update and it killed it, and I'm not spending 150 quid on it. I'll do it on my phone. Yeah. Mine
doesn't work at all with the Neptune Fusion app anymore. Just opens, crashes instantly.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't use it. I got rid of the Trident because it was making me lazy and I wasn't testing.
Okay.
I was looking at that going, yeah, it looks all right. It's fine. And then, life gets in the way. You don't do I won't do my checks this week. It's fine. Trident says it's all right. And then you find out that you've not calibrated your Trident as good as you should have done, maybe, or as often as you should have done. And then the Trident's out, and then the tank's out, and no, get rid of the Trident. And I'm back testing ALK every 2 days, and then everything else weekly. Just keep on top of it.
Wow. So did you
use as much as we talk to me? All of these things, it is only as good as your last calibration. It don't matter what it
maintenance.
Is. Yeah. You don't maintain your car for 3, 4, 5 years, it's going to fall apart.
Yes, it does.
I see a few of those.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's one of them. I've got it for a fail-safe. It's brilliant to have it. I don't think I'd have a tank without it, but I don't use it to control my tank, apart from little bits and pieces like wave makers turning on this set to do that side, that set to that side, stuff like that. Really, yeah,
you're not relying on it to do things for you. It's more of a just in case things go sideways.
It's an app on my phone. I can turn things on and off. That's what I'm using it for mostly.
Do you use the alarms as well, Liam?
Yeah, I've got all the alarms set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if you didn't use the alarms, you'd be as well just using a Wi-Fi power strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about you, Dave? You're a Neptune user. You don't do automatic water changes. Is it something you consider?
Not here, but in future, probably. Yeah. Why not make it a bit easier for yourself? Save the back. But I'm an advocate of using the Apex. I love it. Can't really knock it, to be honest with you. I couldn't reef kind of without it anymore. It was one of Lee's finest decisions. He ever got me pushing me to buy one. Obviously for the alarms, probes, obviously I go away quite regular abroad. So it's a good way for me to monitor the system. Yeah, I can't really knock it in that sense. I do use a Trident still. I like it personally. It stays within a range, and I'm fine with that. Do I still manual test? Hell yes. Once a week. I haven't gone to a Trident NP. I don't think I will. So, yeah.
I think for the Trident, or certainly for me, it's a lot to do with finding out finding out a trend
Yes.
in your system. So yes, as much as you say, I test every day, or I test every week, or whatever. Do you test it exactly the same time?
Yes.
Try to. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So then,
I do.
so then you start getting that trend. But if you've got a piece of machinery there that's going to do it for you, yes, still do your manual test. I always used to calibrate mine once a month. That was it. Leave them and walk away.
I did have a friend who only did testing when he was doing all of his reefing stuff in one day, right? So he would tip in like 17 kilos of fucking mysis, right? And then he would test his phosphates and go, and then he would go, oh my God, I cannot get my phosphates up. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. When I test, it says they're absolutely through the roof. But then in reality, when I then test it, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's like, fuck's sake.
Yes. Yeah.
It's crazy. Or taking your alkalinity test from your sump right next to where it's literally just dosed alkalinity. It's some people just don't get it.
No.
It's mad.
No.
It's common sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of people that also dose into their return pumps scares me.
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, it's got its benefits to be mixing the water, right? But it's not. No.
But that as soon as the calcium alkalinity hits that pump, it's just literally grab into it, which kills the impellers.
Yeah. So
Have you added a dosing section to your sump, Steve?
Dosing section in what way?
As in a separate section that you could put like a wave maker or something?
No, I've got a Refugium
Turn it
area
up
that's
and-
going to have a wave maker in it, but it will, all of my dosing I generally do in 2 sections. So I will split up into 2 sections. First section, which is where the filter rollers are, that will be 1, and then 2 will be the Refugium.
That's one of the things I'm glad I did add to mine. Like you say, 2 sections. I've got maybe a 4-inch section in between the skimmer section and my return section. That I've got a little Jabeo wave maker that doses in calcium one side, alkalinity the other. Brilliant.
Yep.
Absolutely
Good
brilliant.
idea. Yeah, it's a really good idea.
it's interesting the differences of opinions, but everybody this morning is kind of agreeing with only using Apex for certain things and stuff like that. Yeah. Good morning, Mo.
Hey, Mo.
Scott says, this has got to be the longest I've ever watched Salty Banter, and there's been sensible conversations. Well, that's because this is not a Salty Banter. And I think Melinda has just said it. Yep.
Yeah, wrong stream.
Harry is asking, what are you going to run in your Refugium?
Algae.
Thanks, Steve.
See what I can get hold of at that time. I used Cheeto in my last one in my old tank. I wouldn't go back to Cheeto again. It just holds too much detritus.
If you want Dragon's Breath or anything, Steve, give us a shout.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's sat there. It's ready. The chiller return pipe is actually my return into there. Whether that will be enough flow or whether I just need to throw a little pump in there, I don't know. Whatever. As long as it turns it over, I'm not bothered.
Question on Refugiums. So everyone always says use a red light or like a purpley indigo light for growing your Cheeto and taking your nutrients out.
Yep.
I use a white light. It was a £14 LED Refugium fish tank light for a Boo Tropical.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I said the word. I cannot run my light on my Refugium for more than 5 to 6 hours, or it will bottom out all of my nitrates.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I had a red LED Refugium fancy light that was 100 and something odd bloody quid, I had to run it for like 19 hours straight. My Cheeto and stuff doesn't really grow, but the nutrients are well contained.
Okay.
What's your views?
That 6.5K light will have red spectrum in there.
Oh, yeah.
So if you put
Yeah, it does.
spectrometer under it, it will have red in there.
Yep.
If it works, it works.
It's definitely a white light compared to
it'll
red light.
be 6,500 Kelvin in my opinion. If it's a tropical light, it will be aimed at growing tropical plants. It'll be.
I don't think it was growing anything. It's just a panel of LEDs. That's got an on and off switch, and that's it. It's
to your eyes, it won't look
what
red.
more do you need
in there?
Yeah, it's got red LEDs in it, but maybe 2 or 3 compared to 100 white LEDs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just blending. Yeah, I use the Grow on my last system. Before that, I did the Radion Freshwater, I think it was, and before that, I did the algae reactor. They all work.
Yeah. But you know, there's a difference between growing Cheeto under a red light, under a white light. I've got a friend not too far from me. He runs Cheeto, and he has to have his on for 18 hours a day. He's got a Kessel for Refugium light, and his Cheeto grows like crazy, but he has to vodka dose and all sorts to keep his nitrates down. Whereas mine's the opposite. I have it on a white spectrum. It doesn't grow, but it bottoms my nitrates out. It's
okay. Is it the algae that's definitely doing that, or is it a case of that the system is just dealing with it, biomedia, rock, etc.?
I have very little of either. I've got concrete rock.
Okay.
I've got a little bit of live rock in the sump, not a huge amount. I don't do any kind of carbon dosing.
Yeah, the how old is your tank?
It's been going there for just over a year.
Yeah. Okay. So the live rock that you put in there will obviously turn everything else live anyway, and the bacteria will build up on every surface. It'd be interesting to see if you actually took the Cheeto away. Would you start to see the nutrient?
If I turn the light off, I have to turn the light off. Nutrients go straight up.
Do they?
Up to 25, 30. Turn it back on to control them, and I've now got it dialed in. It's about 4.5 hours at night.
Okay, interesting. Do you use it to stabilize your pH as well?
No, funny enough, I've just swapped over to the NIOS stuff that I won. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And my pH has plummeted from using Zelements pH Plus.
Okay.
I've always struggled with CO2 in the house and it's now gone from what was a 8.2 to about 7.9 low. It's down to 7.45, something like that, and a high of about 7.7.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worrying me a little bit, but shit still grows. And
the light that you use on the Refugium, do you run a reverse cycle or?
I do, but it's not. I've not got enough Cheeto in there to affect the pH. It's 1,800 litres of water nearly. It's a small Refugium. It's
So, Dave, you saw a little pH bump this week, did you not?
I did. Thanks to do it right. That thing there. I can't remember. What were they called? Air purifier.
That's it. Yeah. Just a little airflow.
So Ron fluenced me once again.
I did.
But I
2 or 3 people in the chat, by the way.
To be fair though, I got an absolute steal. 20 quid off Facebook Market. What, 100 quid new? Plus I got 2 new air filter. 2 new air filters.
Quid. So there you go.
But it was strange because it literally put my pH up 0.1 in total, I think, at like the peak time. Which okay, fair enough. So and I'm just running it on its like lowest settings. Yeah. It's doing its job, I suppose.
Alan's saying he's got one as well. That's why Bernadette bought me mine. And I think James is about to buy one.
I got one for the parrot. I've not noticed the pH increase of it, but yeah, they do.
Send me a link.
I must admit, because obviously with the Apex, you can monitor that, and the trend from when I installed it last Sunday, it's literally gone up 0.1 of the pH. all the way through. It was like
You have your window
wowzers.
open all the time as well, don't you? Don't
I do, yeah. I just get too hot otherwise. So even in the winter, it's open. Ordering
Yeah, so-
one, want one. Yeah.
Right. So, I totally agree, James. Fucking influencers. It's unreal.
Blame Ron. It's nothing
Yeah.
to do with me.
This one is my fault. I'll take it.
Yeah.
It's the amount of stuff it pulls out there is incredible, but I am really interested to hear that it's affected your pH. And I'm trying to work out why. So is it pulling more? It's just creating more air movement in your room. So it pulls in the bottom through the sides and it exhausts
Comes
through
out,
the top.
yeah.
So is it just pulling more fresh air into your room in general?
Or is
I
it
think
just
so.
circulation?
Yeah, it could be just
Yeah,
air moving around. Yeah.
It's circulation. I mean, I suppose technically it's taking out the shit which is coming in through the window, right? So to a degree.
So Stephen says, I'll get the wife to buy it if it will help her parrot.
It's more the dust from the parrot, depending on what parrot it is. Yeah.
Houseplants are the best thing Scott added to help with pH. That's brilliant. You know where you can buy them, everybody?
B&Q.
Dobbies. Yeah.
No, it's a good little investment so far, I suppose. We'll
Well,
just see now what happens with the pollen situation.
20 quid. And you've got a year's worth of filters.
Yes.
Did you reset the air filter button on it? Or are you just using the filter that it came with?
So I had a filter in there, which a guy had only had it in there about a month, he said.
Okay.
So
It will
I don't know
eventually.
how true that is.
Once the airflow gets suppressed enough, a little red light will come in the top, and you just put the new filter in, and then you just push and hold the wee red button, and it will reset for you.
Does it scream Roxanne? No,
It does not.
it doesn't. Oh, it's a shame. Okay, yeah. No, I didn't know that. I've just kept obviously the filter he had in there, but he said it was only in there for, like I say, about a month. So I don't know how.
He took the
said
plastic wrapping off it.
Yeah, it was definitely off, and I made sure there was like no obvious dust on the outside to start with.
Did you see the colour of mine that I posted on Discord?
Yeah, so yours a white one to start with, I guess.
Pure white, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty mad, isn't it?
It's absolutely disgusting to think the amount of stuff that's just floating around. But I mean, we need a little bit of bacteria and dust. It's all. I'm not a total maniac, but for pollen and my tanks, like I said, since installing that, I've not had random SPS deaths. Sure, things have stung and fallen into each other, and there's been warfare, and that's what happened. Whereas that day of coming in and there's just a pure white skeleton for absolutely no reason, totally stopped when I installed that. And it's always around about this time of year.
This time.
Yeah.
I always generally use a hammer. So.
Just to answer Stephen's question in comment about, going back onto parrots. I've not noticed any issues with parrot dust apart from it settles on the top of the tank. So I have to have that gyre up there pointing back at the.
You mean settles on the water surface?
Yes, yeah. You get like a dusty covering on it. So I have to have movement blowing it back to the weir, and then it comes out in the filter roller and skimmer. I've not noticed any detrimental effects.
So is this Gaza? Because I don't remember seeing that photo next to his name earlier. Right, so he must have changed his photo, because look. How's he done that? Oh, shit. Other people
can change your picture.
Oh. Are these things noisy? Matt, they have setting 1, 2, and 3, and then they also have a night setting where it drops to almost nothing, and it is complete. I mean, look where Dave's is. He sleeps right next
to my head. Yeah.
I've got radions. You can't hear it.
I live next to the army, so they're putting bombs off, so I wouldn't hear a fucking thing. Right? But no, generally they're not noisy at all. I got mine on setting 2. I know I've got headphones in, but
wow, setting 2. Yeah, that is quite a bit higher than 1. I've noticed there's quite a jump from 1 to 2. That's interesting. You're managing to run it at that speed and it's not affecting anything sound wise. Hello, Willem.
No.
Willem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Matt. We're at it. Amazon's just going to have an influx of these air filters. I mean, Steve is already Googling it right now. I can tell. He's not using his hands, though.
You get the filters on AliExpress yet? Or?
You definitely can get aftermarket filters that are not made by Live White, the company that make the filter. Yes, you can get them.
I'll have a look.
I don't know how good they'll be, but
I don't
right.
know. So 2 spare genuines, but
2 spare genuines.
Yeah.
That's a weird sentence. Let's talk about like chasing numbers then, right? So I know I'm going to sound like I'm just repeating myself all the time, but I was a bit of a BRS boy when I first started in the hobby because I didn't have really any other friends that were in the hobby. So I didn't have people to lean on to ask questions. My LFS is Glasgow, too far away to just be popping in all the time and chatting and asking questions. So yeah, I did do the 8.4 alkalinity, 420 calcium, 1350 magnesium for, I don't know, the first like 5 or 6 years of reefing. And then I realized that, slightly higher mags, okay. That level of calcium, in my opinion, is tiny bit too high for me for precipitation reasons. Alkalinity, a bit of a swing's actually all right. What's your opinion on numbers? And do you have in your brain a number you want it to be? I mean, I still do. So I'm 8.4 alkalinity, right? I've not wavered on that because it is working for me. I'm 400 calcium and I'm still 1350 to 1400 on magnesium. Steve, what do you think?
I generally don't care. I like to wait and see. I like to wait and see where the tank wants to be. So, yes, you need to be within parameters, let's say. But I've spoken to people in the past and they've gone, my calcium's at 420 and I really need it at 430. And I asked the question, why?
Yeah.
Why you're struggling to get it to 430? Okay, is everything growing? Is everything happy? Fine. Run at 420. Doesn't really matter. If everything's happy, then that's all that I look for is where does the system settle out to? My old big system, I used to run Alka 6 on that.
Whoa. The old one that had the cut off end. Wow.
Yeah. And that was running on a Distacco back in the day.
Showing your age there, Steve.
You can still buy them, believe it or not. But yeah, that had a meter tall Distacco on that. But yeah, it's more a case of I like to look, see where it sort of settles out to what's in there. Everybody's tank's different.
I was just about to say there is no single recipe for reefing, and that's what makes it so frustrating, but also amazing as well.
Yeah,
people say, "Oh, choose somebody's tank you want to emulate and go with their." Fine, but your tank is going to be different.
Sure.
Once you've got those numbers, then sort of look for the consistency of those numbers. But there you go. But other than that, I don't care what the numbers are.
Yeah.
I'll shoot for a range.
Yes.
As long as it's between here and there, I'm happy. I couldn't care. Yeah.
I think Gaz is confused that he thinks we're all agreeing with his version of the word stability. Not quite. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. Not at all.
I'm a range, but I try and keep it that it's going to match the salt water I'm putting in pretty much. That's kind of my goal. There's no point adding the salt, which is massively elevated compared to what my tank sits at, personally.
I totally agree with you because I did the whole Red Sea Coral Pro thing when I had a softy tank, and of course that's what 11 point something in alkalinity or something. 470
calcium, 1600 magnesium.
It's insane, and it doesn't make any sense. But you thought, well, that's good value for money. I'm getting higher numbers, but that's where NIOS is absolutely nailed it for what I'm aiming for. I just throw the salt in and it just sits where I want it to be. It's great.
Yeah. So I don't chase numbers. There's no point. The only thing I will say is the only thing I actually key monitor is the magnesium, but that's kind of stabled out. Brand new tanks, obviously, they sap magnesium massively.
Yes,
And
they do.
definitely with your Filia, I find more LPS. I'm not sure with SPS because obviously I'm new, but with LPS, if the magnesium is low, you're in a world of shit personally. Yeah.
Yes, you watch YouTube and you listen to influencers and all the rest of it, and you go, "Oh, look at their tank! I'll go for their numbers." But you can't do that. You can't.
No.
Ballpark, yeah, but you can't. Yeah, every tank's different. So Terry's saying Nios is amazing salt for gonies. There you go.
It's probably the tracers that they're pouring in it now.
Yes. So what's your opinion, gentlemen, on supplements? So I do make a joke about Rama that anytime he's in the comments on a live stream, he then goes out and buys something or tries what somebody on the screen is talking about, right?
We're on about witchcraft here.
Yeah.
Witchcraft supplements. Okay. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? If I said the biggest game changer in my tank, which actually was the light, as you know, if the biggest game changer in my tank was Red Sea Reef Energy, is it the AB plus or whatever you call it, the bright yellow stuff? If I said that's the one thing that changed my reef tank and got me to where I am today, some people would probably go on to Amazon, Finest, Charterhouse, something like that, and they would order a bottle. Or, God forbid, go to your fucking LFS, people. And I just wonder, the longer I've gone in the hobby, the less I'm doing. So one of the biggest things that I remember when I joined the hobby was all I got was a light, a return pump, a heater, no controller, just a glass heater you set to 25 and then set it and forget, and a skimmer. That was it. And then within weeks of going on YouTube, ooh, I need a phosphate reactor. I wasn't even testing my phosphates, but I needed a phosphate reactor. And I'm quite a switched on, skeptical, straight to the point, spade's a spade kind of guy, but it kind of got me. So is there anything in this hobby you've been sucked into and saw absolutely no benefit from and thought, what am I doing?
I've seen a lot of negative.
Well, that's the next question. Yeah. So what have you tried and it's been like, wow, game changer? And what have you tried and gone, that's done nothing?
It's controversial, right? So I've probably foods to me, liquid foods, like,
okay,
I'm going to say it, Steve's on the stream anyway, like the Nios foods, they do the job. They do a job, but they also have a negative effect on the tank for me personally. But so I decided not to use them anymore.
So in terms of higher nutrients?
Yeah, higher nutrients, harder to control. You're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul in a tank sense for me. I was having to do more to maintain shit. And as you know, I don't like doing shit.
Did you see a difference when, excuse me, when you were dosing it? Did you actually see a difference in the aquarium?
Coral response, definitely. Yeah, how they were responding, more puffier in chalices especially. SPS, I wouldn't have a clue, to be quite honest with you. They look fluffy all the time.
So it's not a case of that it didn't work and you stopped doing that, or a case of that you were just phosphate and nitrate adding nutrient. Yeah. I kind of, I don't like doing shit, as everyone knows, and why create more work? So
I know what you mean. You're adding something
to then take it back out.
So what was your initial reason for doing these foods, Dave?
Steve made me. He forced me. He pinned me down. He said, "You will use these."
Did he choke you?
And he said, "If not, he'll put jizz on me and teabag me." And I was like, "Well, I'm using them."
Did you say jizz or
jizz? Yeah.
He put jizz on you.
No, I suppose it's one of those things, right? Everyone's inquisitive with using stuff. I've got a drawer of shit here, like, which never gets used. So, Rama, you want some bottles, mate? Hit me up.
But that's not just at the end of the day. Look, we are all hobbyists.
Correct.
Doesn't matter what hobby. So myself and Dave are both carp anglers. Personally, I can probably say, without even going and checking, I've probably got 40 to 50 pots of popple. Do I need any more popple? Absolutely not. When I go,
But you go back to the same one, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You go, you
Yeah.
smell them, you look and go, oh, they're fantastic. I'll have them.
What's that pop up?
It's
No,
bait
is it?
A
fishing.
tent, I
Lots of
think.
bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But every hobby is the same. You just sort of get into the shop, you get all excited, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, let's have some of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Steve,
I've got a shelf in my shed full of tackle I no longer use.
Yeah.
And you always revert back to what you know. Simple.
Yeah, we're
So you don't
getting.
use
some-
maggots anymore. Yeah.
I used maggots for years.
Let me know if you
Certain
need
times a
maggot.
year. Does it go a long way?
No.
No, okay.
I forgot.
Anyway.
So we're on angler. Right. So Dave, you were talking about bottled foods.
Bottled foods, stuff like that. Bottled bacteria I've used in the past. And now I look back on it and I go, what the fuck did I even buy this stuff? And it literally, this drawer here, if I look down, I've got 10 bottles of stuff I'll never use again.
I think
So-
reefers, we all have that. I mean, Rob has a shed, right? So he was talking yesterday about the fact that he's now starting to go through the shed because he's maybe going to be moving house.
Yeah.
We've all got piles of stuff. I mean, I've got an entire room through that wall, right? And it was the original owner of the garden centre's bedroom, right? So it's got all fitted wardrobes. Every single shelf, floor to ceiling, is just rammed of stuff. And I never even go really in there. Okay, one of the cupboards is all my backup equipment, right? Loads of pumps, heaters, control, everything in there that can just swap straight out if something goes wrong. But the rest of it is bottles I've tried and no longer use. So why can't I just either give it away, which I do, if somebody says, does anyone have a, like Scott a couple of weeks ago said, my phosphates are too high. I said, I've got a phosban reactor. I'll send it to you with a pump. I don't need it anymore because I'm not going back to that. So yeah, sharing equipment.
That
but-
sort of stuff, is it? In fact, give me 1 second. Prime example. Okay.
What's he gonna bring?
Show and tell time with Steve.
We can see a wee bit. Oh. Wasn't
I
expecting
will
that.
probably never ever use that at any point. In fact, it's got a kink in it there. That's of no use, but I won't
Steve.
throw it away.
Steve, my mum says a small kink is perfectly natural. Don't let the boys in the showers upset you about it.
But I've got sheds full of this sort of stuff, and I will not throw it away because the day that you throw it away, you go, "Oh, I wish I had
You'll
that
need
piece
it.
of 32 mil pipe."
But so you say that, right? But how often do you go to the cupboard of shite and go, oh, I can't believe I've got that, and you do use it? Because that does happen to me.
In
Yeah,
comparison
quite
to the amount that's there, and generally what I end up doing, and I don't know if everybody else is the same, but yes, I will go to the shed, start looking through boxes, go, oh, right, now can't find it. It's just quicker to go and buy a new one. Come back and then go back to the shed to put the extra one in or whatever and go, oh, that's where it is.
Best example I've got of hoarding total garbage, right, has to be, so this is my third one of these, right? So the first one was a Gen 2, and then this one's the second one was a Gen 2. This is a Gen, fucking hell, one or the other. I think my first one was a Gen 1, then I've had 2 Gen 2s, right? But I kept the cabinet, the sump, and all of the pipe work from a Gen 1. And just randomly one day, Rob talked about a bit of pipe cracking, or he was doing something with his Gen 1 Reefer 170. And I said, I've got that entire set of pipes. Do you want them? And I just posted them down to him and they just straight on. So yeah, I didn't benefit from it, but it felt great being able to help somebody out. Just having hoarded these random piece of shit bits of pipe that I'm never going to use. but
Yeah.
it came in handy. Ugh. Anyway,
Yeah. One of those, isn't it?
yeah. So talking about too many supplements and things, so Dave's saying liquid foods. What about you, Liam?
As in, what's the best thing I did for my tank as such?
Yeah, so what, anything you've bought that you can't live without, or anything you've bought and went, that did nothing?
Just stop adding shit. Just in general, I mean, the best thing I did was goodbye everybody, but switch off YouTube. I stopped watching shit and listening to influencers going, "Oh, you need to try this, you need to try that." Stop fucking about my tank, and suddenly, apart from my iodine dropout, everything has changed. It's just easy. You just let it do its thing. You're not adding 15 mil of this every day, pissing about with foods, and just let it do its thing. Keep my hands out of the tank. Yeah.
This is where I have to roll back to say that I think a really, really good tank does actually start with a good salt. And I know that's a controversial thing to say because some people buy the cheapest salt they can find and they do fine. However, depending on what your tank inhabitants are, so high flow, SPS, high light, a lot of nutrients getting consumed by a lot of coral and a very small volume of water, I need a salt that is quite stable, good with the main three parameters, but also good with traces and things like that. And it's, yeah, I think if you go for a salt that's lacking and stuff. So we were talking last week on Discord about Red Sea Blue Bucket and how wildly different the magnesium levels can be. I mean, salt should be consistent. Obviously, there's going to be slight fluctuations in mixes and stuff like that. But, you know, NIOS now, is it on the box it's got, is that an ICP analysis?
Yes.
Every batch that is, they will only make it in batches of 1 ton. Every batch is ICP'd. They won't even send salt to us until they've received the results and put the results on the buckets.
And am I correct by saying if the batch comes back and it's not what they expect, they keep that for fish only systems and it gets... Yeah.
Well, they keep it for their coral farm and the shop and all the rest of it. Yeah. So last time I was over there was, you know, maybe 2-3 tons that didn't meet the main criteria or the criteria that they set out, and they just put it to one side and start again.
Yeah.
So Scott is saying the best thing he's done with his tank is time, nothing else, just waiting and let it be. Is that true, Scott? I feel like he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Lee says, let's all stop talking about NIOS salt, otherwise Steve will put the price up.
Very truly. Red Sea's the best.
You do realise there's a war on and fuel's gone up.
Oh, that sounds like a pre-warning. It's so true, though. It is so true. Everything's going up.
Well, that's okay, Steve. I'll have it at the same price, but you can bring it to me to Mansfield if you want. Save a bit of, yeah.
It's already there. It's already in Mansfield. It's fine.
Oh, it's nice.
Save the job.
Talking of Mansfield, I had a disaster this week with sending a whole load of corals to David, sorry. When you get to 20 kilograms with Royal Mail and then you get to 21, it flips from Royal Mail to Parcel Force. I have never, ever seen such bad delivery service, ever. So only twice out of all the deliveries I've sent to David at Mansfield have I gone over the 20 kilos, and this one was over 20 kilos. And it came completely destroyed. I mean, the polybox had disintegrated. There was water everywhere, hardly any water in some of the bags. And the attitude of the delivery driver also was absolutely disgusting. So I think what I'm going to have to do now is weigh my boxes and ensure they're below 20. Problem being, though, it just puts the price up on postage. It's a tricky one. But I can't have multiple corals dying in deliveries. I'm sorry, that's just I would stop doing it if that was the case. I'm not interested in that. The corals have to get there as safely as possible. Hence, such heavy boxes, such high water content, 3D printed cages, double bagging, then put in a third bag. So, yeah, anyway, disappointing. Steve, what about you for something you have done in the past and got 0 from, or something you've done in the past and you would never, ever stop doing?
0 from, yeah, pretty much everything. I am that person that will go, ooh, let me try that. And I won't name names. The one that sticks out the most is there was a brand that came to the UK a number of years ago, and it was a system in bottles, and I had my old tank, my big tank, and it was like 300 quid for this system, and then you did your traces and stuff after. The system I worked out would last me between 10 and 14 days.
300 quid for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was absolutely beyond crazy. And I just thought, no, I'm going to give it a go because everybody is raving about it. My corals actually went brown, grey, and I stopped using it and threw the bottles in the bin.
So are you talking circa £600 a month?
Yeah.
Holy
It was,
shit.
what,
Whoa.
2,500 litre system?
Yeah. Oh shit! The comments keep jumping. Yes, Steve, I had the
Another
only
parcel crushed.
the only fish and coral dedicated delivery service in the UK. Nope.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, I've tried most things available on the market. I've had numerous samples over the years from lots of different companies. As a hobbyist, I always try them on my tank. Probably shouldn't, but that's where I generally try stuff. Even Modern Reef, before we actually took on Modern Reef, we got a sample of that sent over. I didn't have a tank at that point, and I gave it to a very good friend of mine and got him to try it, test it, and I kept going round checking on his tank, etc. before we took it on. We won't take anything that we don't believe in or doesn't work.
The system you talked about before, the really expensive one, is it still available?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I think the prices have changed quite a lot since the early days, but yeah.
Okay.
Things that I did that I would carry on doing. So we all saw how crazy I got over trace elements with 20 odd doses or whatever it was, dosing every individual trace at a time. Worked, definitely worked. The biggest downside was having to keep changing the bottles and realizing when they'd run out and all the rest of it. That was my biggest concern. So I would do it again, but I'm planning on not doing just to try and make my life easier. So what this tank will run on Ion B with the tracers in the Ion B. If I do find that I am lacking in stuff, I will do the same thing again. But obviously, because I'm adding the tracers into the Ion B, it will only be a top up rather than solely needed to be dosed. So it might be 1 mil rather than 3 mil or whatever. So the bottles should last much longer. I got to the point of literally buying 2 or 3 bottles and using the Nios food bottles, 250 ml bottles, and pouring the bottles into one to try and make it last me longer.
Yeah. Do you think, Steve, obviously this is a controversial subject because of what you do for a living, but would you ever consider DIY fluids? No.
There's only one person to blame if it all goes wrong. And the volumes that you need to make, in reality, yes, I have a I have a large system, but if you are decanting, let's say, I don't know, what do you make up at a time, Ron? 50 litres? 100 litres?
Well, I mean, my mixing beaker is 20 litres, but my dosing containers are 10 litres. So, yeah,
Okay.
I tend to fill them.
And that's the perfect analogy. So you're making up 20 litres at a time, and then you're decanting it out of that. So you decant into your dosing chamber, let's just say 5 litres to top it up. You then get a call, walk away, whatever, come back 2 days later and go, oh, I left the lid off. Oh, it'll be all right. No, it won't. It's the water's evaporated out of there. You've got a completely different level. Is your ionic balance correct?
Who the fuck knows?
And these are all the things that I look at and just go, why would I?
Yeah, that's what put me off right in the very start. It was like, what don't I know that Red Sea, for example, put in theirs? How are they stabilizing that? Much thicker, much clearer. How are they doing that? Yeah, that's
speaking to the owners of NIOS not long ago, and this is on the salt, but obviously they do exactly the same with the Ion B. And they said the company that they get supplied raw ingredients from tell us that there is a cheaper material that comes from exactly the same stock, but it's $2 a bag cheaper, let's just say, €2 a bag cheaper. But we refuse to have it for the simple reason that they tell us it's the same thing, but on the paperwork, the highest quality product one must have X, Y, Z. The one underneath it has only got X, Y, but they're telling us it comes from the same thing.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not going to go through all of the work and all of the pain. And you look at sort of your guys' tanks there that are your pride and joy, and try and save £3 a month. Why?
Yeah, I mean, the cost saving on the alkalinity I'm making, I think I said on Steve's stream last week, the Red Sea works out at £21 a litre, and my own one is 38 pence per litre. So obviously that's significant saving.
On your balling salt, though. So were you buying the balling salt?
No, I'm just talking alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you were buying it by liquid rather than mixing.
Yes.
High grade. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
It seems quite a high price for a couple of liters of alkalinity, but yeah. I mean,
risks involved. Yeah. I mean, when I'm mixing my sodium carbonate, for example, I mix it in my beaker, and then before I put it into my either storage container or my dosing container directly, I pass it through a very, very fine micron filter. Yep. And there is always debris in there, like maybe a bit of hair or a random black thing. And you think, yeah, the purity level on these, especially when you're buying in bulk, right? So I'm buying sodium carbonate in 25 kilogram bags, which are actually to do with keeping chickens. Don't ask me what to do with keeping chickens, but it's to do with keeping chickens. I assume it's to do with egg production and things like that. And yeah, there's random little bits and pieces in the bags.
But that's the other thing is, so you're having to buy it in 25 kilos. So the reality is for your average hobbyist, let's just say they've got a large tank and it's 1,000 litres. How long is that going to last? How do you store it? How do you stop it getting contaminated?
Yeah, so I mix, like I say, I mix 2 litres at a time, and then I decant it. And then when the bag comes, I put that bag inside an airtight bucket. Yep. I'm a little bit more anal than your average Joe.
Your OCD is fuck you up.
Not only that, but you also have space.
Yes.
If you could imagine trying to do that at home.
Yeah.
So you now need
for 3 25 kilogram buckets, and you know, your wife already doesn't want the fucking tank, let's be honest. So yeah, it's a tough sell.
Yeah, I did a similar thing with citric acid. I bought 2 20-kilogram bags thinking, yeah, I'll use that quite quickly. No, it all went solid in the bag. It all went to shit.
Oh, see, I put that in a bucket as well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The reality is when you actually look at it at the end and you're throwing that in the bin and you go, I'd have just been cheaper going to the shop and buying Easy Clean or whatever.
Yeah.
Good morning, Amanda.
Morning.
I've completely lost my place, but this is Sunday Shenanigans, and I do try and keep it shorter because everyone's got lives and things to do. So I think we'll stick a pin in this, but I mean, we're not even halfway down the first side of this sheet of paper. So yeah, I think we need to rearrange and come back to this because it's just all about differences of opinions of methods and things, isn't it? So listen, thank you so much, Steve, Liam, and Dave, for your time today. Thank you so much, everybody in the comments. If you're on the Discord, please get on the Discord and give us topic suggestions you would like us to actually talk about on Sunday Shenanigans, because this is actually more about chatting and involving people in the comments. Salty banter is obviously just random bullshit. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone.